Obviously, at the moment, I mean, it's just started now. If people don't know, today's the day that Pro League began in the Group B, which is the one that has FaZe Clan and those other squads in, right? I want to actually ask a bit about Vitality, because the problem is, it doesn't feel like that's of all the new rosters. That's the one that still feels like the most, we don't really know anything about them, right? They had like the all-right showing in the Blast one. They looked all right. It was fine. You know, they were close with everyone. It was the one where everyone only played Inferno, if everyone remembers that stupid-ass group. But then after that, though, it kind of eats it. It was actually just a bit lackluster if you look at their placing. Sure, don't they lost the bombs, but still, you expected them to be deeper. So they're obviously the team where it's like we're sort of waiting for them to arrive. Like, are they actually, you know, like a potential number one? Could they be a team that wins the major? And thus far, here's what's crazy for me at the moment is if you look, I always say this about any of the teams that have like what I call the aliens, right? Which is Simple, Ziwu and fucking Nico. The reason why I call them the aliens is because not only do they seem to usually play the same level, no matter who's in the team, but they seem to play the same level, even if like their team plays bad or good, which is like, that's so unusual for a CS player. So what I normally say is this, sure, if you have like Simple, for example, when you're making a roster move, you just take it for granted. Like, well, Simple's going to do simple things, then we're going to add this guy. The problem is this though, and I always throw it out there, it's like, we're actually putting a very unrealistic expectation even on the aliens though. And so the problem I said when they made this Vitality squad is we're all assuming, right, okay, well Ziwu's amazing, so he'll just keep doing that, and then you add, you know, Magus, and so far actually people haven't noticed Ziwu's had like some dodgy games so far in this lineup, and it's looking like essentially there's a problem. And I wonder, because at the moment I wonder if Nico's going through this in G2, when you're on a team where it is really limited and essentially even your teammates know like it's the Ziwu show or it's the Nico show, you have the green light to do anything you want at that point in time, and you can do everything that's good for you individually, because in this case you need to be at your best to win the game for the team, right? When you add in all these other pieces, I mean, first of all, if you're bringing in like major winners, you might accommodate them, you might give him a spot, you might give him some space. There's a million things that could change in a team dynamic. So what are your expectations for this squad overall? What have you thought thus far?
Yeah, I think as well, I think they just need more time, right? I think the English language thing is actually going to be is a big deal for them,
sure,
right? Because you have two teams where their cores, they didn't speak English beforehand, right? So I think that's going to be a big deal. In terms of Ziwu's performance, right? I think we can still let it slide just a little bit, even though he has had a couple of dodgy games. I do think that there's maybe some slight differences in like maybe some of the positions that he plays, right? It is slightly different. Like for example, on Inferno, like Inferno T side, he normally plays like as the banana guy, right? But now Magus has taken his spot, right? So I'm sure he has to kind of evaluate where he can find impact in like a slightly different way, right? Because I'm sure before, maybe part of it was just, you know, Vitality would try to set himself up to, you know, get as much success wherever he could, right? But now that he has this Astralis core where he kind of has to like tend to him a little bit more, I don't know if that's actually the case or how much that is actually true, but I think they just probably need a bit more time in just every front, I would say.
Yeah. I'd also say as well, the other factor people don't ever stop and think about is, it's like everyone keep forgetting coaches exist nowadays, do I know they were all fucking cheaters 2 years ago, so we all hate them, but low-key, like, they do exist. Like, remember, everyone in Astralis never mentions there's no fucking Zonic there anymore. Like, I notice that narrative never comes up. So similarly on Vitality, this is another thing you can't take for granted, is remember Zonic had Device's whole time in Astralis, and Device and Ziwu aren't similar at all as AWP. Like, there's such because I always say the thing about Ziwu is some of the kills he goes for with the AWP aren't even AWP kills. He's just so good. He just goes for no scopes and shit, doesn't he? Like, Device is your typical paint by numbers AWP that you expect from the old days, you know. So it also people underestimate. You think like for example, if I thought, well, what would I do if I coach Vitality? I mean, the first thing I'd do actually is I'd have to find out from within the team who these players are. Like, I think I know from, you know, demos or interviews, and I have my own conception. But for all you know, sometimes you get in a team and you find out like something that a guy does really well, he doesn't even like doing it, and he's only doing because someone's telling him to, or he does it because someone else can't do it in the team. So there's all sorts of like dynamics behind the scenes I think fans don't understand. So if you bring in a coach like Zonic, assuming he's going to build up a big structure like he did in Astralis, that ain't going to come overnight, guys. The difference is the teams like FaZe Clan, they are already made with the players they have and the style of IGL are carrying it. They are already made to be going tomorrow. A team like Vitality, this could I mean, I actually think the timing for the moves was good because it gives them still a few months before the major. They just have to basically get through the qualifier, and the major's when they have to be good for my money. I don't mind before then. I'll give them a break because it is such a new, as you said, even just the language part's pretty drastic. Everyone's speaking a different language.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd say as well, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe they try slightly more drastic changes in terms of like their positions, right? Like, not every team is willing to do it, but who knows? Maybe they can actually get somebody more. They can get more out of somebody if they actually swap like a position or two. Because I remember like the old Vitality, like back when they ran the 6-man roster, right? They were moving ZywOo on Inferno from A to B to back to A, like that kind of stuff, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see if they maybe try that in some way. Because right now, currently, they just went for the cookie cutter approach where it's worked out the best way possible, where you have the Astralis people, they just played all the spots that they used to last time, and then all the Vitality people play the same spots they did last time as well, right? But what if they actually meshed them just a little bit just to see what would happen, right? I don't know. We'll see if that ends up being a solution, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, because a lot of teams actually do stuff like that where they get a guy to just move a position here just to see what happens. And if it works, they do it. If not, they just go back.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.